female parliamentary candidates constitute just under 4% of all registered candidates. Despite women being 51% of the country's population, women were largely missing in the campaign process for many reasons, including threats and harassment. It's clear that much needs to be done to ensure a strong participation and representation of women in the country's political sphere. According to representatives of several civil society organizations with whom we spoke, these elections were subject to campaign finance rules, which were weakly enforced. This had some negative impact on equity in the campaign. Concerning the electoral dispute resolution, our interlocutors expressed confidence in the independence and fairness of the judiciary. Turning to election day, 3 European Parliament teams observed in Dhaka Central, in Dhaka South, and Padma Bridge area, and Dahmanrai and surrounding area. The polling booths which we observed were mostly well organized and transparent, and the atmosphere on election day was peaceful in those places. Despite the considerable logistical challenges linked to the vast population of the country, the staff of the polling station did their best of ensure the smooth implementation of the procedure. They deserve our sincere thanks and congratulations. Nevertheless, we also observe that the closing and counting procedure were relatively slow and cumbersome. Above all, I would like to express our administration for the civic spirit and enthusiasm shown by people of Bangladesh who demonstrated their commitment to democracy. We sensed their pride in deciding on future in their country. I want to turn now to the post-electoral period. First of all democratic politicians, my colleagues, I call on political leaders of the country to ensure that their supporters shall refrain from violence act. Any dispute regarding the electoral process should be addressed peacefully according to the established legal procedure. It is also crucial that judiciary shall perform its constitutional duty in an independent and impartial manner. Before concluding, please allow me to make one final remark. During our time here, we witnessed the considerable progress which Bangladesh has made in the past 2 years, both in the terms of governance and the management of the economy, for which we congratulate the interim government. These are achievements which are applauded. Following Thursday elections and the yes vote for to the referendum, the country is now entering new crucial phase. We urge the new parliament and government backed by all other state institutions, to ensure that the approved reforms shall be implemented, but also to demonstrate the political will to ensure that all citizens of this country, independently of their religion and ethnicity, feel protected and included. As European parliamentarians, we stand ready to assist them in this process for the benefit of this great country and its great people. Thank you very much for the attention.
We open now the floor for questions. We take 3 questions at a time. Please introduce yourself by name and also tell us for which media outlet you work. We start with the gentleman in blue back there.
Thank you. My name is Somoyer Sathe. I work for Channel 24. I'm here. Yeah. It's really interesting because for the last few years we've been hearing our election was not credible. The things we are saying, it's really causing a pain in my stomach because it seems our elections is quite acceptable. Anyways, jokes apart. So what I really want to know, what are the biggest, as it's a more participatory comparing the last few elections. So was there any place that was really concerning and that can be rearranged or sort of redesigned for the next election as an example?
Now we have the second question here.
Hello, I am Amina Hira. I work for Daily Kalbela. So my question is that in this election, we know that Awami League is not in here. So how do you think that its impact of this election, Awami League is not here? So we saw that referendum, more than 30% of referendum ballot were cast as no. So how do you think that its impact for particularly Awami League or any other reason? And we know that you deployed 64 districts to your observer for observing. So what is their observation?
And now we have the third question on that corner, please.
Hi, I'm Tanveer Chaudhary with Al Jazeera English TV. I have 2 interlaced questions. One of the key observations you all made about women's participation, 4% during the election, although the country has been ruled by 35 years by women. What exactly specifically would you say the reason for limited participation? Was there some sort of limitation from the system or the governance process or the institution itself? My second question is, one of the 2 largest parties, which is the Awami League, was conspicuously absent in this election, and they have a loyalist supporter at least between 18 to 20%. Would you make a comment on that, if you don't mind?
Yes, thank you very much for all those relevant questions. As for the first question about what could be rearranged and what could be redesigned, I think that the women's participation is probably the issue that is of the greatest concern according to our observers. As for the very understanding of why is this important, democracy, this is really about civic equality, when each and every Bangladeshi citizen can participate both as a voter and as a candidate, and of course in campaigning and so on and so forth. And if we see here this balance, this is basically hurting the decision making of the Bangladeshi people themselves. And in that sense, I would just call the Bangladeshi authorities to implement what they have already agreed to do. Bangladesh is a part of the so-called Women's Convention, and which implies that the participation of women has to be enhanced and fostered. So we would just expect that these obligations are fulfilled. The question which was also asked by two of you, the question about the exclusion of a certain political party from this political process, let me formulate like that. We are here to observe the elections. What we are interested in is the process of the elections. Transitional justice is an extremely painful and sensitive issue in many countries, including many European countries. But of course, elections is the way to move forward. And of course, what we have observed in these elections is that they have been hugely competitive, and that the choice presented to the voters with these 2,000 candidates has been considerable, and this sense, I think this is really a way forward for the Bangladesh democracy to go. As for what was asked by the colleague about the outcome of the referendum, I mean, but it is again, if you look at the result, one might say whether this is a rather convincing majority for a yes vote, but the European Union is usually not observing any referendums, so that's why this hasn't been at the center of our observation, because this is not our mandate. We are about elections, but at the same time, of course, we have understood and taken into account this context where the referendum plays a role. I have to say that, of course, the referendum vote has really given an obligation for the newly elected parliament and newly elected government, which is most probably going to be elected in the nearest future, to go on with the implementation of this reform agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Shahnaz, working with the Daily Observer, my question is to you, Mr. Evers. Anyway, my question is very specific. I just want to know your happiness or your observation about the election day turnout, the voters' turnout. How do you feel with the turnout? Do you see any difference between the election commission has been claimed or your observation? Because there are many media, even the social medias, they have also raised the issue. Thank you so much. And my next question is to you, whether you people are going to submit any final report after the violence or anything, the post-election. Anyway, thank you so much.
My name is Simon. I'm working in the Daily Color Control of the leading newspaper in Bangladesh. My question is that you constantly talking about the participatory election. So as we know that one of the country's major political party, Awami League, couldn't participate in this election. So in this regard, how this election can be considered as a participatory election and inclusive? Thank you.
Third question, second row here.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you. It's Simul Guys. I work for a private television channel. It's Bangla Vision. My question is about the turnout, what actually took place in our voting, near about 60%. So is it acceptable to you, I mean the observer? And the another question is that you have mentioned that the counting, actually voting counting was very slow. So we have witnessed that you have been working with the election commission closely, providing technical supports and other supports. So why this counting is slow? Did you actually observe it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, addressing the question about the turnout, which also relates to what was asked by the colleague on my right. Well, as for the turnout, we all know that the turnout historically has been in Bangladesh both higher and lower, and in that sense we really see, this particular outcome is striking a middle somehow. If you take general terms, we are not looking at turnout only as a number in terms of percentage. Because you all know that in many democratic countries, for example in Europe, in most countries, including my own, the turnout is shrinking. In some countries it's bigger, in some countries it's lower. This is a great concern for all democracies, I have to say. But what is important, this is not just about numbers. Turnout is very much also on participation, and this is the answer to your question, is whether all relevant groups in society are taking part in the election, and no one is excluded from participation. And that's why, as I just said, the participation in this sense really includes all political groups and all the social groups that have their interest to express in those elections. And in that sense, I would say that the turnout is not the only thing to take into account when speaking about participatory elections. What was the third question? Okay, yep. Oh, the counting of the votes. This is, of course, also of great interest to us, and we will, just as that was said in my introductory remarks, we are not leaving the country now. You will be all given, I suppose, online our preliminary report after this press conference, which would explain on many of the things that have been mentioned in my speech. But the final report is going to be presented in a 2-month time, something like in late April, early May, when we will really gather all the information, when we consolidate all our findings. And this is where we come back also with recommendations for the Bangladesh authorities. Thank you very much.
Hello, sir. It's Danzi Manor. I'm from our state-owned news agency. So you have mentioned that you observed the counting as a process as well, and we know that the last night Jamaat led alliances alleged regarding the counting system, especially two seats in Dhaka. They alleged that there was rigging and kind of election engineering. What's your observation about that, regarding that allegations? Thank you.
Yes, I'm Imran from Diganto. My question is related to previous my colleague. Is it working?
Yeah, it is. It
is working.
We didn't see you.
Okay, no problem. So yesterday, the 11-party alliance held a press briefing where they brought allegation against the election commission on the result manipulation, specifically Dhaka 18 and Dhaka 13, in this constituency, and a post-election violence against their workers and supporters. What's your observation on it?
Okay.
Hello, my name is Isha Dhanamumi. I work for DBC News. My question is again in the voter turnout. Do you have any statistics on what percentage of minorities vote, and do you think it's tiny? If it is tiny, so what's the reason behind it, or it's natural?